Do you feel like content creation is just dragging you down this summer? Maybe you have started to ghost your audience and you're realizing that that's not what you want to do because come Q4, you definitely want to make sure that you are not starting from ground zero, but yet you're finding it hard to prioritize your marketing in the summer. If you're relating to that, then you are like most small business owners that I know. And I want to say, like, you're not lazy. You just need a better system and you need something that is going to flow with that kind of like summer energy a little bit more. So today I'm sharing my 3-step content creation system, I guess, that helps you simplify marketing without ghosting your audience completely. So this is not going to be one of those videos that's like, just do nothing. The summer doesn't matter. I actually think the summer marketing really does matter because during the summer, people are considering what investments they want to make for Q4. So if you want one of those investments to be you, no ghosting. So first, before we dive in, I'm Kara. I'm a marketer. I do mostly blogging and Pinterest and podcast management for creative business owners, solopreneurs, online businesses like you. And whether you are a team of one or you have a few helpers, this content plan is going to make your life easier. So let's dive into it. One, and this is the biggest one, is start with one long form piece of like anchor content. So that could be a blog post. Obviously, I'm a blog writer. I'm going to suggest that. It's also the one piece of long form content that you can basically outsource, right? But also it could be a podcast episode or a YouTube video. It could be an Instagram live if that's your thing, but basically just like one core piece of content. This is your anchor content, and everything else you're going to do to market your business this summer is going to stem from that. And then anything extra that doesn't stem from that, consider that like a cherry on top, right? Like we don't need it, but it's nice when we have the time. So that's step one. And like, I want to say like, put a decent amount of time in that. Okay. You can't phone it in. Like I know sometimes as a podcast host myself, sometimes week to week, you might have an episode or so where you're like, I kind of phone this one in, but I need an episode to go live next week. If you are making that your only piece of marketing, try not to do that. No judgment, just, coming from someone who has done that before. Step 2, let's take that piece of content and we're going to use AI to make it go as far as possible. Remember when we used to have to do this manually? Like, I'm so glad that those days are behind us. So I would use AI to spin that long form piece of content into multiple different formats. So throw the transcript or something. I love using rev.com to transcribe audio. I just find I think their plan's like $40 a month or something around there. And you get a certain amount of minutes. I think it's like 1,200 minutes. It is a good deal for the quality of transcripts. Not all auto transcribe technology is made equally. So that's kind of the first thing that I do when I have my long form piece of content. And then the second thing I do is ask ChatGPT, can you give me 3 quote graphics for Instagram? Depending on the content, right? This is a little bit content specific, but depending on the content, I might say, can you create a carousel? Can you create a reel with a hook? ChatGPT is so good at knowing kind of those more nuanced things. Can you turn this into threads? Can you pull the best one-liners out from this piece of content or from this transcript to market my business on Threads? One email draft that is promoting this piece of content. And that is honestly where I stop. You could also take it further and LinkedIn posts, TikTok videos. I'm trying to think of all the platforms. There's so many. Can you write 5 titles that you can put on Pinterest graphics and then throw it up on Pinterest if you want to get AI's help with that? I consider Pinterest less of a repurposing platform and more of traffic driver to get people to the original piece of content. So, depends what bucket you want to put that in, but either way, ChatGPT can help you, and it can help you do it really, really fast. With one piece of content, I'm going to use a blog post as an example. You could easily get 3 quotes that you can then put on Instagram. Let's say you post those Monday, Wednesday, Friday as quote graphics. Tuesday, you could do a reel promoting it that's face to cam. And Thursday, you could do a reel that is B-roll video with a hook on it and then caption. And again, those pieces of content don't all have to be like read the blog on my website. It's just content. And that's posting 5 times a week. We don't all have to post 5 times a week. That's what I would do. One of the pieces of feedback I get with this repurposing plan is that it can be a little tricky to stay on top of everything. It's one thing to be in the habit, but as a busy business owner, you have a million things to do. So what I would say is invest in a project management software or something like that. I really love ClickUp as like a home base for my entire business. I also, if you want something specific for marketing, I absolutely love Enji. I'll link to Enji in the description box. It's my absolute favorite. They even literally have a repurposing tool right on it. So it's a great like marketing software, all-in-one marketing software, if that's what you're looking for. Then step 3, you're going to make your summer content easier with these 3 tactics. Okay, so I'm kind of cheating because this is step 3 and there's 3 things, but hear me out. They're not that hard. One is add structure, which sounds so counterintuitive, but I've always been a believer that structure gives you freedom. So an example of that is like saying like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm posting a quote graphic. It could also be like your email. If you're promoting your blog post or podcast episode or whatever on an email that week, that is structure, right? I think other examples of structures that are kind of easy to follow is like maybe on Instagram stories, you do an ask me anything on Monday, or you do a Friday tip, or if you're in the wedding industry, like Wedding Wednesday, like things like that. They actually tend to give you like more freedom in that you're not like looking at a blank screen, because looking at a blank screen is the easiest way to not be creative. Like it blocks all creativity. So I feel like if you can create some sort of light structure, that really helps you automate your consistency. So 2, reshare and use your data. So let me explain what I mean by that. Your top performing content from last year is likely still gold. So I like to put something in Airtable. I bought an Airtable template where I can like store all of my content to keep it all organized from Coley James. I'll link to that in the description box. But you could use Airtable. You could use Notion if that's your thing. You could even use ChatGPT not ChatGPT to store it, but you could use a Google Sheets just to store the content that you're creating and keep track of like what worked, what's relevant. I love tracking my KPIs. I personally do that in Enji, the all-in-one software, marketing software that I was talking about. But basically just like if you are feeling strapped for time or stuck for ideas, it's a great idea to look at what you posted last year and either repost the same thing or recreate it or try to throw a fresh angle or intro or something like that on it. For example, I literally got this video idea from ChatGPT when I was looking at my top podcast episodes. So there's that. And then 3 is batch. So one of my batching tips for the summer is instead of doing it like start to finish. So for example, I'm recording this video right now, but I didn't like plan it now, then record it, then do the transcript. Then I turn all my YouTube videos into blog posts. And then like, I didn't do that all in one motion. I scripted 2. Then I'm on a different day, I'm going to record 2 today. Then I'm going to week create the blog post. So I think a lot of times we like think of batching as like doing one thing start to finish and then doing like 4 in a row that are like start to finish. But reality is it's a lot easier to do like tasks together. So that is just keeps you in flow. Less task switching is just a win all around. So that's how to make your summer marketing plan easy. I know that it almost sounds like too simple, but I think having a simple system that is really effective and will keep you on track and will help you market your business this summer is the most important thing. Just to recap, kind of my favorite tools that I use ChatGPT like literally all day, every day. I use rev.com for transcription. I use a mix of ClickUp and Enji to keep track of all my task management. Airtable as my content library. And like, again, it feels really cumbersome to like set up Airtable to start tracking your content at the beginning when you have so much content and you have nothing in Airtable. But once you build out your Airtable, it makes your life so much easier on a day-to-day basis. So it's one of those things that feels like an extra step. But like 3 months from now, you'll be so glad that you do it because I guarantee you are creating so much more content than you even realize. So basically that's it. Just to recap, 1 anchor piece of content, then you use AI and tools to repurpose, and then you work things into your schedule that make it actually possible for you to implement. I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll see you outside.